What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So I pose a question to y'all. I'm a big fan of the Power Universe, as well as a lot of my friends are, and we have a lot of discussions about the series and also the spinoffs. You know what I mean? So we talk about why certain things happen in the show, what we think about this, that, and the third, and I never really brought those discussions to YouTube, so I'm gonna do it today. And the main topic that me and my boy was discussing the other day was who was most responsible for the demise of the St. Patrick family structure. Was it Tasha St. Patrick, aka Tasha Green, or was it James St. Patrick, aka Ghost, aka Jamie? And in my opinion, it was Tasha St. Patrick, hands down. And I know a lot of y'all gonna think I'm up here defending the man, James St. Patrick, because a lot of men let cheating slide and all this and all of that. No, Ghost was wrong for stepping outside of his marriage with his childhood crush, his childhood love, and he started to act on the passions of his youth. He started to act on the ambitions of his youth, the dreams of his youth. And I think he did, but the thing is, I think he did that because a part of him didn't really want to be Ghost. He still wanted to be Jamie. And Angela represented, he was in love with her, but she also represented a part of his childhood where some innocence remained in him. And you can see that he didn't want to be Ghost anymore from his ambitions to become clean, to become legitimate. And Angela helped to bring that back out in him because that's who he really was at heart. He really wanted to be a clean businessman. Now, he was a gangster without question, but he wanted to live legit. You know what I mean? And so I think that when he was with Angela, he felt like he could naturally be who he wanted to be without any pressure to be Ghost, without any pressure to be this kingpin, thugged out kingpin. You know what I mean? On the other hand, Tasha St. Patrick, Tasha was never in love with James St. Patrick. It was never a Jamie in there for her at all. What she fell in love with Ghost. She was proud to be married to Ghost. She was proud to be married to a drug kingpin who was out here making moves, who nobody should mess with. She was proud to be with a man who could impose his will on other men at any given time, and also handle business in a way where she felt like she was just like, it was a thrill for her. All of that was it was a thrill being with Ghost. She loved being with Ghost, but she didn't see a Jamie. She didn't see a James, because anytime he broke out of the character of Ghost, Tasha had a problem with it. When he wanted to go and be a legitimate businessman, she didn't see that. She didn't want him to do that. She wanted him to stay in that ilk of that street dude, the street kingpin gangster. She wanted him to stay in that ilk. And if he broke out of that, she wasn't satisfied. She wasn't satisfied at all. And I believe she didn't even the club was supposed to be a front to her. It was never supposed to be a legitimate business to where Ghost was putting his all his passions in that club day in and day out. She didn't really, truth was just supposed to be a front. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be a front for him to look like he was getting legitimate money, but Tasha preferred him to be out here in the streets and making moves and making plays that way. And I think when James St. Patrick, aka Ghost, when he saw that, he felt like, damn, I can be myself with Angela, but with my own wife, she don't want to accept me for who I really am. She want to accept him on conditions that he is Ghost, and that's it. Tasha's love was conditional. And I think that's what drove James St. Patrick further and further away from his marriage and further into the arms of Angela Valdez. Now, it was wrong for him to be out here sneaking and creeping with this woman or whatever, right? And people be like, oh, he letting that childhood crush just destroy his family dynamic and his family household, and he's letting that childhood crush creep over and take over everything. But I think it was more than just a childhood crush. Angela saw him as being more than just a kingpin and a drug dealer. She saw him for being the dude that she knew with all this ambition, who was a brilliant man. She saw him being legitimate, and she believed in him, in his legitimacy. Tasha didn't. You know what I'm saying? She didn't even want to believe in it because she didn't want to live that life. She didn't want to be squeaky clean at all. It was a thrill. It was a rush. But just the thing too, even before Ghost started to step out, even before Tasha knew that Ghost was stepping out, she was already flirting with Sean, Kanan's son, in the car, taking her panties off and acting all out and being lustful in the car so he can see and all that type of stuff. So to me, even if Ghost remained faithful to Tasha, she still had a lot of ways in her that was foul, that was shiesty. She still had a lot of ways in her that were wrong, and I think she was going to end up being unfaithful to Ghost at some point anyway. Because at the end of the day, the further he became a legitimate businessman, the less she was going to be attracted to him, which was going to make her be attracted to other men. You know what I mean? Because, or not attracted, yeah. It was going to lead her to want to step out because she was going to get bored with James St. Patrick. She wanted Ghost all the way through and through. Now, Tommy also did not want, I'm not going to blame Tommy because, yes, Tommy is a part of their family. But this is the thing. Tommy didn't want Ghost to go legitimate because Tommy knew he didn't belong in the legitimate world. He had no place in it. He could not talk as well as Ghost. He didn't have the brains to, handle a lot of them business transactions that Ghost was having. He had a ilk to be muscle. That was his strong suit, being muscle. He knew the street game or whatever, but even in the street game, he knew he needed Ghost. He needed James St. Patrick. That's why he was upset that Ghost was getting into the legitimate side and stepping away from the funny actions, because he knew he needed Ghost to even operate in that world, because Ghost was the brains behind things and he was the brawn, right? So he was only upset that Ghost was going into the professional realm because he felt like his business was being compromised by James St. Patrick getting into legitimate things. He felt like, man, my world is gonna get turned upside down because my best friend want to be legitimate. He want to be in the professional realm, and ain't nothing professional about Tommy at all. Ain't nothing professional about Tommy. Nothing was professional about him from the jump. Nothing was. And I hope I've been saying Tommy this whole time and I wasn't saying another name. But yeah, nothing was professional about Tommy. Tommy felt like, man, no, man, I need Ghost over here in the street realm because he needed Ghost brains. And that's all it was. It wasn't that he was jealous of Ghost. It wasn't that he just wanted Ghost to stay there at one thing. He didn't want Ghost to be legitimate and live a good life. It was the fact that his whole world was being threatened at the fact of his best friend turning professional. That's all it was. Tasha, on the other hand, she ain't have to play no parts in that. She just loved being a drug dealer. Also, the girl had her own son out here slanging weight and moving dope. If that ain't the most foul shit in the world, I don't know what is. I don't care if you found out that your son is moving dope. I'm not going to say I'm going to help you do it the right way if you going to do it. Hell no. I'm going to be like Ghost. I'm going to whip your ass and whip you into shape until you do what you're supposed to do and act up and act accordingly out here. I ain't going to give you passes to do stuff that you want to do. It's like when parents find out their kids are smoking weed at a young age. Well, at least let me show you how to really do it. Hell no. I ain't gonna sit down here and be friends with my kids and try to compromise or bargain with my kids. I'm gonna compromise you. I'm gonna compromise with you. Since you want to sell drugs, I'm gonna show you how to do it the right way. Hell no. That's not what a responsible parent would do. And that's why Ghost was hemming Tasha up like she was, because she was out here just being all type of careless, selling drugs out of her daycare spot. You know what I'm saying? That she got some money. I think did Ghost give her the money for that? Selling dope out of the daycare spot and all that, like just real shady actions. Had their own son. She was all for her son being a gangster and a street dude. And at the end of the day was willing to throw other folks under the bus for her son's actions. She never wanted him to be accountable for his actions. Now, I get it, being a parent, you want to protect your children and protect your babies. But she didn't want Tariq to be held accountable for his actions so much that she was willing to throw Tommy, somebody that was loyal to her, from the soil under the bus. That we saw this in the Power Book 2 spinoff series. She was willing to throw Tommy under the bus to not hold her son accountable. And she wanted to take the charge. Excuse me. She wanted to take the charge for her son. Okay, cool. If you do that, all right, whatever. But then she wanted to get out of it by throwing Tommy under the bus. It's like, no, man. But man, yeah, Tasha was signing off on her son being a drug kingpin, Ghost Part 2. Now, whether he was going to be that or not, he was going to be that on his own time. Now, it shouldn't have been under the watch and guise of his parent. Come on, man. It shouldn't have been under the watchful hand of Tasha St. Patrick, a.k.a. Tasha Green. She was out here okaying all those actions, and Ghost wasn't having it. Ghost was the dude that say, hell no, my son ain't going to be nothing like me. He going to live a life where he is in school. He's doing right by his mother. Even when he wasn't with Tasha, he was snapping on Tariq for disrespecting his own mama. You know what I mean? Trying to teach that boy the right way and the right path and lead him to the right direction so he wouldn't have a ghost in him. But this is the problem. Tasha St. Patrick, she was so mad that Ghost was not being Ghost, she wanted it to be instilled in her son. She wanted to make her son what his father was because she had such a thrill with that lifestyle. She was so cool with the game. She had become so cool with it. She was like, okay, well, we can make you the Part 2 of Ghost and we can keep getting this fast money, you know what I'm saying? And we can keep living this thrill life Even with her own damn son, her own baby, who she should have protected from all the BS, man. So, in my opinion, Tasha St. Patrick is to blame for the demise and the downfall of the St. Patrick family and the St. Patrick household, man. She even, it's so crazy. Like, look at she out here running around with Terry Silver and all these dudes. I'm like, man, come on, man. And Ghost wasn't right again for his actions and acting on his love with Angela Valdez. But I'm looking like, man, the stuff that Tasha was doing, how you let your son be out here advocating for him to be a street dude? Knowing that he got a way better future than either you or Ghost ever had. He got a way better chance of the future, way better resources and connections to be out here living good and to be out here on the right path to live a bright future. But you want him to be a street dude. You want him to be a gangster over being a surgeon. You want him to be a gangster over being a businessman. Now you can say Tariq had his own ambitions from the start, but you don't try to you don't basically feed into his ambitions, his negative ambitions. That's not what a parent is supposed to do. You don't give him those negative reinforcements to do what he want to do. She out here lining them up with connects and all that. Come on, fam. Giving them drugs and all that. Like that's wild, man. But that's, again, in my opinion, Tasha is to blame for the demise of the St. Patrick household. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think it's Ghost? Y'all leave the comments in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Peace.